Hello everybody, this is Mike Negron from Universal Nissan in Orlando, and I just want to say hi and take this opportunity to introduce 2018 Nissan Rogue Sport. Wait, the scorching hot 2018 Nissan Rogue Sport, because it is hot out here today. But I'm going to point out some of the things that people overlook on this car, and it's something that you and your family will greatly appreciate. And we're going to start with popping this hood. If you take a look here, under this hood is a 2-liter, 141 horsepower, twin cam 4-cylinder engine. Made it to a CVT, or continuously variable transmission. This is a philosophy you'll find throughout the entire Nissan lineup nowadays. We're going all CVT. They're fuel efficient, they're reliable, and they'll last you 500,000 miles if it does twice a year. So I just want to point out really quick here that before you take a long trip with you and your family, all of these fluids are visible. You never have to stick your hand in here. So a visual inspection is good right before you go. So you got your brake fluid, you got your washer fluid, and you got your coolant. There is no power steering here, so don't look for it. It saves that old nasty belt squeaking and the extra fluids that you would normally put in this car or in a car, but we've eliminated that. Now they're electronically assisted power steering, so make a note of that. If you follow me here, I want to point out a few cues, styling cues that are going to be shared throughout the entire Nissan lineup. For one, look at these aggressive lines. They're not just for show, it's also aerodynamics. But I'm going to close this hood so you can see a little better. If you look at this profile here, you notice that you got the wraparound headlights for your safety. This actually makes the vehicle more visible at intersections, and of course the lighting is important nowadays because a lot of the cars on the road, so you want to stay visible. So you have your wraparound headlights with your polycarbonate Lexan headlamp covers. They are high impact resistant, so you don't have to worry about rocks and stuff chipping your headlamp covers. And you're working your way around here. Now you have your stylish 18-inch wheel, and we're going to get into that in just a little bit, but I want to point out the safety here. Right here you're going to find lenses on your side view mirrors with side markers. The side markers will flash, and they will give you added visibility at night, especially when you're at these intersections in Florida. Very busy. A lot of weird drivers out here, so you want to stay safe, right? Of course, I'm going to show the inside, but pretty stylish. If you want to just zoom in there real quick. All right, and we're also going to talk about the safety features in this vehicle. Inside are active and passive systems. We're going to point that out to you and your family. But also, if you want to take a look back here, very roomy. This is considered a compact crossover, so it's nothing compact about it. You're going to fit 5 full-size adults in here. So, we're going to take a look inside there just a little bit. So again, for your safety, you have your wraparound tail lights. Again, added visibility for night driving and even daytime driving. These things are pretty visible from all sorts of angles. Also want to point out a little bit that you have a pretty substantial amount of cargo room. We'll get into dimensions a little bit later, but storage and reconfiguration here is going to be a breeze for those who go shopping, for those who haul and carry mulch and equipment and books and whatever the case may be. So it's pretty ample with regards to storage. So again, for your safety, you have a high third stoplight, which is pretty common in most vehicles nowadays, and I hope you have a high third stoplight. If you don't, you need a Nissan. So if we keep walking around this vehicle, we're going to realize that it is aggressive in styling, it is aerodynamic, it's very inexpensive to drive. The fuel economy on this car is super impressive. You're going to average around 30 miles per gallon, which means you're going to make stops less frequent, and it's going to be easy on your pocket. So again, I want to re-emphasize that it is a very roomy interior, and once we go in there, I'm going to point out your safety highlights inside the vehicle as well. So if you just zoom in on this here real quick, this is our Maroony sticker. Very inexpensive to drive. That's your average cost per year. Most cars are double that nowadays with this configuration, but we managed to keep it pretty efficient to drive. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go inside this vehicle, and I'm going to show you how wonderful it is to drive this 2018 Nissan Rogue Sport. This is Mike here again at Universal Nissan Orlando, and as I mentioned earlier, I wanted to point out the safety features inside this vehicle that are very important for you and your family to know. Starting with these airbags. These are advanced airbags, and what I mean by that, or what Nissan has tried to have you understand, is that depending on whether or not you have your seatbelt on, how much you weigh, whether or not you should have a minor in the front seat, all this stuff is going to be determined by the weight of the passenger. In short, if the passenger doesn't weigh 100 pounds, this airbag will not deploy. If the passenger does not have a seatbelt on, this airbag will not deploy. On my side, if I don't have my seatbelt on, of course this airbag will not deploy, but it's also going to calculate which direction I'm going, whether I'm at a dead stop before impact, whether it's a skim, in other words, you don't come to a full stop, also what direction I'm going in, and whether or not I do have my seatbelt on. That's what's going to determine the rate of speed at which these airbags will deploy or not at all. So they're not going to hurt you. And if you don't have your seatbelt on, they're neither going to help you or hurt you. But make sure you have your seatbelt on and no kids in the front seat, all right? So in addition to the front airbags, which are intelligent, you also have a side bolster airbag built right into my seat. So it will protect my rib area, okay, all the way till about here, and of course in the rear passengers as well. In addition to that, you're going to have a curtain airbag. This curtain airbag will protect the front and rear passengers as well. So you have a pretty comprehensive bubble of protection in this vehicle. Remember, always wear your seatbelt. We're going to get ready to take off here, and I'm going to show you a couple of things on this car that are pretty impressive for size and weight. It's 141 horsepower, remember, so it's going to move this box quite nicely. I'm just going to make sure that all of my controls are accessible, and also try to find the most comfortable seating position. These seats are designed to keep you in here longer. They're designed to reduce driver fatigue, which means you'll be a more wide-awake driver and, of course, a safer driver. In addition to that, you're going to have all of your remotes at your fingertips. And if you're at a correct seated position, right where about the wrist will meet the steering wheel without you removing your back from the seat, you should be able to touch every button on this dash without looking. But remember, you have all the same controls right on the steering wheel, so you're going to be able to control all the important audio functions and calling functions, and of course your cruise functions right on the wheel, which keeps your eyes on the road. All right, so let's get ready to take off. If you were in here, you'd know, or you'd feel how smooth this vehicle actually operates. The steering is silky smooth. It's also designed to relieve fatigue when you're driving in tight, cramped spaces like crowded shopping malls, where it can be a chore to find parking. So it's going to help you maneuver around tighter spaces a little more comfortably without using so much effort. So as we merge onto a major road, I want to take the opportunity to show you that this is also a transmission that can be shifted manually. Now, even though this is a continuously variable transmission, it does allow you to have more throttle control. By putting it on manual mode, you'll be able to upshift and downshift as you would a manual shift car or a standard transmission. But remember, it's simulated, so it's really not throwing out gears. Acceleration on this car is pretty smooth as well. Notice how it does not shift, and it is a straight, linear, very silky smooth acceleration. And I'm already at 45 miles an hour. My RPM should be somewhere around 1,300, 1,500 RPMs, which means you're going to save some money on fuel. The vehicle is idling very smooth. There is no noise inside the cabin, no vibration inside the cabin from the engine at all. The engine is sitting on motor mounts, so will actually absorb the vibration, so you will not feel it inside the cabin. Gives you a quieter ride, of course. After a long day's work, let's say, you want to get in a car that's pretty quiet. So one other thing I want to point out on this car is the navigation system. The navigation system is so smart you can just talk to it. there's a talk button here, and I'll just show you real quick.
Please say a category like phone or a command like points of interest, followed by
Points of interest, Nissan.
please wait. Points of interest Nissan. Nearby or in another city?
Nearby.
Nearby. Please say a number from the displayed list or say next page.
1.
1. Calculating route to 1.
So if you look at my nav screen, it's also calculating,
Turn next right, then turn right immediately.
and it's giving me the fastest route to the nearest Nissan dealership. So we'll recognize points of interest, of course.
Turn right.
So if you know any department stores or name brands or anything of the sort, it will find it. It's pretty intelligent and very, very easy to use. In addition to the safety features that are both active and passive, there's another feature in this car having to do with telematics. And just to, in a nutshell, if you were ever in an accident and these airbags were to deploy, there would be a signal sent to the authorities to find you via GPS. In the case that your phone or is inaccessible or the battery on this vehicle fails, there's an auxiliary battery right around this area here, and there's an SOS button right overhead. In case of an emergency, you can hit that SOS button and you'll be able to communicate with someone directly via satellite. And that is an auxiliary system. The details will be explained when you subscribe, but it is a feature that's becoming more and more common in our own vehicles because of so many cars on the road and so many, I guess, possibilities of you getting into an accident that we need to make our vehicles safer every day. If you know where Universal Nissan is located, please drop by. Test drives are complimentary. There's no obligation to purchase, but we're able to showcase our vehicles. All these special features are designed to keep you in the car safer and for longer distances. And don't forget to subscribe to Universal Nissan's YouTube page. You can like it, share it, don't forget to comment, and we'd like to hear of any suggestions or requests or anything you want to see next. Please let us know on our YouTube page. So don't forget, Universal Nissan, YouTube, subscribe today, like and share, and you'll find us everywhere on social media. But thank you for coming out. We appreciate it. Don't forget, Mike, Universal Nissan Orlando.